Everyone at some point comes up with stories we'd love to see done in your favorite show. What if they didn't have so many restrictions? What if they brought back this character? Answered this unresolved episode? Remember this thing 15 years ago? Stuff like that. This opens up any type of story, but I don't want to do just anything. I still want my ideas to be realistic, what could be possible in a real production that had a big budget. Thank you, Skull902, for this idea. If you have a suggestion or a topic you'd like me to cover, leave a comment below. I might do it one day.
Give failed characters a second chance.
This one is more personal. No matter how bad a character got in this season, or for whatever reason the writing went down the drain, I would like these characters to come back either as brand new Rangers, a season's mentor, or have a couple episode guest spots. Get their character fleshed out. Justin being the best candidate in this area, kid to adult would act like a semi-reset. Madison, who got nothing to do on Mystic Force, Ronnie on Overdrive, she desperately needs a backstory. Robo Knight and Orion, these guys really suffered the most in that time. Blue Centurion could get something new. He could even have a new design suit. I always pictured him joining SPD. What did Danny and Max move on to as they traveled around the world? They could have gained experience on different cultures. The goal should always get characters fun again.
Answer who's the Phantom Ranger.
This is one of those things torn in the PR fandom. In the back of your head, you always think to be someone new. It'd be interesting if it was a Ranger from the future or someone we know, but Woods from Eltar or Edenoi. So there's a reason why he helped out Earth. Having him Billy, Adult Justin, or even the dog that turned human, it wouldn't work. Maybe his species could naturally create the Ruby, and the Phantom Ranger was actually a part of his own Ranger team. He's actually the Black Ranger. Phantom is such a blank slate, you could do almost anything.
Getting power-ups.
Didn't you hate when someone got a cool power-up or the main team got a group power-up but the rest never did? I hate it when that happens. It's a wasted opportunity, especially in toy sales. I love swap mode. I wish Kruger, Omega, and Cat got the mode too. All the battleizers should be used by everyone. Tailor them to work with them. They have a certain animal type or a different physical builds, which is one of the cooler things Shinkenger did. In their specials, Shinken Gold was able to use super mode and other power-ups. That's what I would have loved as a special ability of the Super Megaforce team. They could have granted these options as a bonus. I always wanted the whole MMPR team to use the Green Ranger powers. I even wanted to see White and Gold Ranger work the same way. The dumbest thing was with Magna Defender, the guy who was after the lights, and Mike never gets the power up. Like, really? I would have loved to have seen Udana, Liambo, and Daggeron get Legend mode. These would be interesting ideas they could do as new things for old characters. You bring back a past Ranger, say Ronnie, she could use the Sentinel Knight Battleizer for a oh crud moment. It's a thing that always irked me. It's in a lot of shows. Digimon is a big example. Why was Taichi and Yamato the only two who have Agumon and Gabumon reach their max levels till Tri came out 15 years later? It would make some cool last minute moments where you wouldn't expect the power up to come out of.
Billy the Gold Ranger.
This one's simple. Billy should have been the Gold Ranger. You had him stay on for nearly an extra year and he gets jumped over because of Jason. I'm not knocking Jason, but it's like they did this backwards. They kept Billy on when he's just doing Alpha's job. That was always stupid. Then you had Rocky leave the team when Turbo started, when he could have stayed and mentored Justin. This could have easily worked in the show. We had 3 trays. The power is obviously too strong for one person. Just have the powers rotate between Billy and Jason, or go the Legends of Tomorrow direction and pull a Firestorm. Have Billy and Jason merge into the Gold Ranger. It would be something different. We've had Rick, Sentinel Knight, and Fireheart. I think they could have pulled it off and still ended the season with them leaving the show.
Evil Returns.
There are a ton of things in PR that get forgotten about. I always wondered, when Mesogog was killed in DT, what happened to Lothor? Usually when bad guys go poof, spells break. Lothor has that power from the pit that allows him to do things that are more out there. He's the embodiment of evil spirits. I always wanted him to call up any type of evil spirit, past or present. It'd be an interesting story if he resurrected Evil Tommy, Evil Trent, Evil Ryan, Evil Cat, Evil Blake, and Hunter to form some sort of perverse ranger team. With this idea, I would also brought back Zanaku since he was the evil form of Merrick. He would have been called, but actually ended up helping out the current team of Rangers with Merrick coming along. This would be the episode that wraps up his storyline, kind of like Vegeta in DBZ. I'd also have Zanaku merge with Merrick and form a suit power-up. I love Evil Rangers. Seeing people turn or be controlled is a thing to keep you on your toes. It's not all happy-go-lucky being a hero, especially seeing a mirrored version of yourself.
MMPR teams up with themselves.
Now yeah, the thing that you'd want are the missing team-ups that were skipped. Wild Force and Ninja Storm, Mystic Force and Overdrive, Jungle Fury and RPM. That's kind of simple. If I'm allowed to do almost anything, why not go different? The MMPR team spanned 3 seasons. Do a time travel story. Someone screws up, allowing timelines to get mashed together. I was thinking someone from Time Force, a random officer, was sent to correct alternate Tommy. You know, the one that was left behind in the past. He caused weird errors in history. What they didn't know when traveling to these points in time, they intersected the time regression field Zed did, fracturing everything again like in Dimensions in Danger. The worlds got stuck together, opening up key points. One would be after Return of the Green Ranger, one after White Light, one in Master Vile in the metallic armor, one after Ninja Quest, last during the MMPR movie. It wouldn't just be the Rangers, the villains too. We'd have 2 Ritas, 2 Zeds, Master Vile, and Ooze. Normally it'd be this visual effects nightmare showing all the copies of characters, and with the cast being older now, why not just have them stuck in their suits? Something went wrong with the morphing grid, with 5 Earths being linked. This way the actors would mainly voice their characters. It would be a way to deal with Tree Trang's death. The bonus from this, the Rangers have access to all their Zords and weapons from the 3 seasons at the same time. So Jason or Zach could use the Dragon Shield power-up. Any team can call the Ninja, Thunder, and Dino Zords at the same time. They collapse the portals using all the power coins and energy. To acknowledge that the movie Rangers aren't a part of Season 3, I give Billy a line commenting on their power coins having a different energy signet from the others. Time's restored, no one remembers anything. The Time Force cop removes Tommy from the past and brings him to the future. You could do something with that Tommy in another story.
Deviot Returns.
When Trikina was killed in the Lightspeed team-up, we saw this evil-looking energy vanish. I always thought that was Deviot. They killed Trikina, but not Deviot's soul. I always wanted him to come back, be the US villain of a series. I had this idea for the Lupin Pat Sentai because they dealt with items that were nods to past seasons. Since he was pure energy, Deviot was able to steal the Quasar Sabers, just took the whole slab with him, used their powers to reform into a new body, took the remnants of Terra Venture, creating a new spaceship for himself, heads off to kill everyone on Earth to spite the LG team, just leaving them on Miranoi unable to do anything, just waiting till he wipes out the planet. His goal is to steal the various items from Earth to use them to increase his power and create a new army of monsters.
Bringing Zordon back for the 30th anniversary.
After the screw up of the 20th anniversary, not to mention Gosei, I want to try to answer questions by bringing Zordon back in a restricted way. I don't want his death in Countdown erased. Zordon is in a time warp, in a special dimension. We can use that. Zordon can be contacted by Gosei. That's how they know each other. They've known each other for thousands of years, but not in a linear sense. They don't use this ability to contact each other lightly. They know they're talking through the past and future. They keep each other in check. With the 2 of them needing help from the current team, close up things from Megaforce, and give a nice moment with Zordon. I never liked that the only person who was able to talk to Zordon was Andros. That was the biggest gripe I had in Countdown.
Past Rangers created the Super Megaforce powers.
I had talked on ways to fix Super Megaforce before, but those ideas were keeping with the show's budget restrictions. With a what if, I wanted the legendary powers to be created by Gosei and Tensu, but with extra help. I would bring in many of the genius characters, Billy, Trip, Rose, Cam, Gem, and Gemma, then break up the season into arcs. 2 of the Rangers that help with the legend powers would be with the team. The first arc would be with the Megaforce team figuring out how to use the past season powers from help by Billy and Rose, with the guest Ranger coming in when needed, going through each duo till you reach Gem and Gemma, who would help with the 6 Ranger powers in Orion. This would culminate with Rock capturing the old Rangers and brainwashing them, using some of the ideas they did with Vasco and Gokaiger. The thing with Super Megaforce, it never really felt like an anniversary. Someone would come in, then leave, with no real interaction or impact on the team. Dino Thunder was more of an anniversary season than Super Megaforce. If people had stayed more than 1 episode, I think it would have worked out better. We needed a core group of people that honored the past. This way, the past Rangers showing up in the final battle would make more sense. You'd have these older characters call them for help.
Other Forever Color team-ups.
I think Forever Red is still the best team-up done. It featured 10 Red Rangers, they all felt correct, each one had a role, we got nods in areas. Overall, it satisfied me, bar that dumb moment with Serpentera. It set a precedent. It'd be cool to have other colors done. I would be totally okay if this was what would replace team-ups. We go through the other colors, forever green, blue, pink, yellow, silver, etc. It allows more of a variety and doesn't heavily feature a certain season, which does happen sometimes. Going by color, you can pick from a good stack of characters. Go with yellow, you bring in Chip, Katie, Aisha, Dustin, Summer, Ashley, and Tanya. It's a big list, but it keeps you restricted. You're going to give people chances over the years. If a past character had different colors, they'd only be used once. We have too many characters at this point. Like Tommy would not come back. He was already used as red. The show does need to bring back the team-up specials. That's the only time we get to see the past. It's nice to see old characters come back. Having what if stories gives a lot of power. I don't want the show to be filled with this endless amount of fan service. I love fan service, but you still gotta have a coherent story. It's hard to pick where it's too much or too little. There's hundreds of stories ideas out there, including adapting the stories from the comics. I have a lot more what if stories that I could talk about. Would you like me to do more of these in the future, or just leave it at this? Are my ideas interesting or crummy? I'd like to know. New episodes Mondays, fan commentaries Tuesdays. Next week, more Super Sentai seasons that deserve a 10-year special. Sorry about not including stills in the video. Due to past fair use abuses from the various companies involved, I no longer feature them. Thank you for understanding. See you in the next video.